Hello, Internet. There was a false start there because somebody started the broadcast and I didn't know. I thought they were starting. Whatever, you don't care. Welcome to Popcorn Chicken. Grab a drink. We're going to sit down and talk about the Bad Batch and some other stuff. And Elvin has merchandise he wants to plug.
Ooh, that looks pretty good. What is that, Elvin?
So we got stickers and we got coasters. So yes, next time you'll be plotting your drinks on top of these coasters.
I have
sorry?
Like surgically implanted. I can't take it, but it's like this giant plastic rim so that my drinks don't spill on all of my expensive gear that I just leave strewn across my computer desk.
And then we also have the Popcorn Chicken shirt, which I failed to wear again, but I wore on the A&R Weekly.
Good.
Because, that's the right show to put it on.
All right, so you're promoting it. It's fine.
But yeah, we've got the Popcorn Chicken shirts for all of us. So Nathan, if you're back in the office one day, we'll get you.
So I'm wearing the regular A&R shirt right now.
Represent the OG.
But I gotta get the Popcorn Chicken.
Well, you got the Star Wars on there, so that's cool.
That works.
It's slightly
my watch is just going nuts. It's like, I don't understand what your command is. Quiet, Siri.
Yeah, nobody asked
an
you.
Apple Watch, yeah.
Yeah. It's a hit or miss.
Speaking of hit or miss, welcome to episode 5 of the Bad Batch. So last week, we all had pretty mediocre scores for episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Which was following one of the best episodes of an animated series that Star Wars has put out for a long time. Not saying that they haven't put out really good stuff. It's just this one was so good.
It was a banger, man.
It was great.
I hoped was a
building block.
A building block to what they were going to be turning the show into. Because again, this is an offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot. And the first season of Bad Batch was like, here's these wacky characters and here's all of their stuff. And there's also a 9-year-old with them. And you're like, okay. And then they flushed out all the characters. And then season 2, they were like, here they are. They're a bit more mature. And you're like, oh, they're pretty good. Okay. They're sure. And then episode 3, it was just like, we're going to talk about vets and PTSD and like how clones deal with each other in different groups and sects. And you're like, shit, this is really fucking heavy. And then they were like, now we're going to do pod racing, but it's small and nothing really happens. And you're like, okay.
Phantom Menace vibes.
Yeah. And you're like,
did anyone even die during that? Did we see anyone die?
Your favorite robot died.
Yeah, the robot.
Oh, not robots don't count. You're not alive. I was glad to see him go.
They do count, okay? They have feelings, Nathan.
Oh gosh, you sound like. Oh, have you in the Solo movie? I forgot the robot's name in that.
Oh, the one that
the droid,
Childish Gambino bangs.
Yeah, that one. It's like robots have got. It's the Robot Lives Matter one.
Yeah,
because she kept saying because she's like, don't, we're people too, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and Lando totally bangs him.
Yeah,
like
that's strongly implied.
Yeah, that's canon.
That changed my perception of Lando. Yeah,
I mean, I still fucking love Lando, and I love Childish Gambino.
Oh yeah,
and he did a great job.
His show Atlanta is off the chain.
Yeah,
I love that show. So good.
Yeah. So this episode is a treasure hunting episode, and Wanda Sykes was like, "I would like to get paid more, please."
Yo, is that her?
Okay.
Is that really her?
Yeah, it's Wanda Sykes.
It sounded like her. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't too sure. It sounded like her. I wasn't too sure.
Yeah. Okay. So this episode, Wanda Sykes was like, "I would like another 0 on my paycheck," and they're like, "Okay, we'll make you an episode that you have a bunch of lines in."
Why is she like dressed like Aunt Jemima? This is seriously, like, this is Star Wars. Like, could you not have made her a cooler looking character?
What's her name?
She looks like she's from Mississippi and gonna make pancakes for somebody. Like, seriously, honestly, you could have made her so much cooler.
Wrong.
right? Like it's so boring looking character.
They could have made her look more like, I don't know, an alien or any, well, I say like non-human or anything like that,
Pirate, like,
rather
give her
than
some
make her look
pirate-
like a.
Space pirate looking thing, right?
Also, that didn't make sense. She's like, I'm not a pirate. I'm a treasure hunter. But it's like, why are you calling her a pirate in the first place? She's not actually like robbing people. She's like a
Yeah.
grave.
I don't know.
robber.
They just
Not
called her a
like
pirate. I
Grave
went with it.
digger.
It's just because it sounds
Well,
cooler saying I'm a pirate.
Hunter called her a pirate like so many times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't do that. Anyway, sorry. That's one thing that bugged me. Already off the bat, start
You're already
calling her a
annoyed
pirate.
off
I'm
the
like,
bat.
no. You
So-
were the bane of archaeologists.
So then they're like, okay, we're gonna go on a treasure hunting thing. We gotta go to this planet.
Whoa,
And they
hold
go-
on, hold on. First, Amiga just
Omega.
happens to find this relic in a bunch of scrap metal place junkyard.
Yeah.
They look. She just brings it in there, and right away, this pirate or not pirate says,
Wanda
"Oh,
Sykes.
look, you found something amazing. It's so rare and awesome and cool." I'm like, "All right." Up until that point, I was like, "I guess this is another filler," but I'm okay. Let's go. If we're gonna go a new planet, new journey, cool. Whatever. I'll learn something more, right?
Mhm. So
So off they go. Now I don't know about this planet. I have no idea. Do you has this planet been visited before?
I am not knowledgeable
I
about
don't think so.
this planet in particular.
Okay, so it's a new
I
planet.
think
Okay,
it's new.
cool. So it's a new planet, new system, and they're at this barren wasteland or something. Were you guys excited? Like I was somewhat like, okay, cool. You know, this is something an exploration thing. Maybe they'll find. Sorry, my mic just moved out of the way. Maybe they'll find something interesting. At that point, I was still like skeptical about the episode, right?
Mhm.
Were you guys at all like? Did you guys just like tune off? Like, oh, this is filler altogether.
Yeah.
Oh,
From
Really?
Yeah. They were like
There
right
was
when
no
they
interest
said
of treasure hunting for you guys at all.
right when they said
So-
we're going to do a treasure hunt, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna give a shit about this episode.
Yeah, I had similar feelings. Is it when they did say, this is going to be a treasure hunt? I was like, okay, another filler. We just had one. 2 fillers is my max that I can do before I get upset with the season. So the next episode
Yeah.
has to be a bit harder hitting.
Yeah.
And I'm not super upset that we've got another filler. It's just if you do a third, now we know that you just made the season for the cash. You had no plan. And you guys had such a good episode for the third episode. It was so good, and you're gonna do 2 fillers back to back. Anyways, treasure hunt filler episode. I actually didn't hate the ancient tech though. Anytime Star
No.
Wars looks so like super far back, because they don't do that too often anymore. But when they do, they're like, oh, pre-Jedi, pre-Republic. It's like, oh, you're treading in the waters of Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic. And I know that they're not using any of that material for this, but they're still
Yeah.
going back in that realm, and it gets me excited because I know they're creating something we haven't seen before. So
Mhm.
let's see what they come up with. And I won't say anything just now. I'll wait till we get there, but I will mention it was disappointing. Anyways, continuing.
I wasn't terribly disappointed in the episode. What I was perplexed as to why they did back-to-back fillers. Right? That's what I was kind of confused as to
Mhm.
why would you do back-to-back fillers? Usually you kind of space them out. That's
Yeah.
what they call fillers for, right? And I thought up until the point where they sort of are walking back to the ship, which is pretty much the end, I was just like, okay, is there something going to be discovered here that's going to make a fundamental difference in this season? Or
Yeah.
are we just going to find some trinkets and then call it a night? So
Well, that's
that
the thing.
aspect kept me interested throughout the first 15 minutes of the show. And then, yeah.
They didn't even like the thing that annoyed me with the episode. Like I don't even think we need to like take our time because like literally nothing fucking happens in this episode. And like the end of the episode is them exclaiming, "Oh, nothing happened." And like there's a couple sure references that you could like gleam out of this, but they go on a treasure hunt. There's some booby traps. They figure it out because of the random thing that Omega finds. Then there's a couple puzzles that are like part of the tutorial mission in any video game of just like, here's how to use the tools that you're going to use forever. And it's like, look through this and put a flashlight through it and see the secret messages. And you're like, okay, I got it. I understand the mechanics of this. It was like, this is middle of the second season. Like they shouldn't be like, here's a new thing. And then, and then Wanda Sykes is like, oh, this is an ancient burial ground for this. And it's this old relic that everyone knows about who's a pirate. And you're like, okay, cool. And then they find it. And then it turns on this giant walker that looks like it's one of the end bosses from the last Zelda game. And
yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was wondering, I was like, this looks so familiar. What's
yeah,
this
it looks
from?
like
That's it.
fucking Breath of the Wild. And then it walks around and shoots a giant Death Star laser out for about 5 seconds. And you're like, oh, is this going to be implications for... No, they just put the thing back. Then there was like a new creature that they invented just for dramatic effect. I did like how Wrecker handled himself. He got picked up by the thing, punched the shit out of it a bunch of times and ripped its horn off. And then was like, right, I'm fucking done with that.
Yeah.
Then they get separated. Then they magically find each other in 5 seconds.
There was no reason for that. Like, they didn't discover anything when separated.
No.
There's no point. There's no action. It was just a couple
There's
minutes.
some, riddles they had to figure out.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
But again,
there
it
would
was
have been
like
no
a
difference
tutorial
if the others were there
mission.
too.
Yeah, it was the tutorial of any start of a video game. Like it was that basic of just like, here's these mechanics. And then they were like, okay, cool. And then nothing happens with them. And then they unlock this giant fucking Star Wars Megazord. And they're like, oh,
Megazord.
Also,
and
how
then
is
he
this not? Oh yeah, sorry. Continue, Justin.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, how is this? Like, I get it. They're trying to reference Indiana Jones. Every single one of the obstacles was something that you kind of find in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The first one, nearly any time there's Indies entering like some temple, there's a puzzle at some point. The second one is in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where you have to step on the specific areas so you don't fall through the floor. And this is the same, just slightly more high tech with the whole thing rotating. And then the last one was, the very famous scene in the first Indy film where Indy picks up the fertility idol.
Yeah.
And runs out in the boulder, crashes down. It was like that, except instead of a boulder, a giant robot came up and just burned the shit out of everything.
Right when Wanda Sykes picks up the thing or twists it, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh, she needs to replace it with something of equal weight.
Yeah.
And then she pulls it out, and then this giant Megazord just shows up or stands up and just shits out a laser. And I was like, okay, what now? And they're like, oh, now we need to put it back. And then they put it back. And then she's like, oh, you owe me. And then credits roll. And I was like, and at the end of it too, they also poke fun at it. They were like, oh, I guess we're 0 for 2 for treasure hunting. And I was like, so the writers of this were just like, I guess we're 0 for 2 for fucking anything happening. And you're calling yourselves out in the episodes? Like, I mean, sure, you're getting a paycheck, but fuck, come on.
Well,
dude.
what if this was a character development for this Wanda Sykes character? If it's a Fee, is it Fee? What's her name? PHEE. Faye?
Faye.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
Faye Genoa? Yeah. What if it's a character development? Maybe she's going to be an important character in the show.
I hope not.
Sure.
But then the question I want to ask is, if that was the angle, then I didn't see any development. All I just saw her was just trying to find a treasure.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
I don't like Wanda Sykes in general. So this didn't make me like her more. I was just like, oh, Wanda Sykes is in this. Okay, like I'm not against Wanda Sykes. I just whenever she shows up, I'm just like, oh, it's her. I'm not like, oh, yay, Wanda Sykes is in this. I'm just like, oh yeah, she was in a bunch of movies I don't like. Okay,
Or TV shows that didn't matter.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, okay, Wanda Sykes is here. Cool.
Did any of you guys at any point while watching think that giant robot thing was going to be significant in some way later on in the plot? Like not for this individual
okay.
episode. I mean, like during the season, the ancient tech and all that will come back before you realize they just destroy the thing.
Okay, so before the giant robot rose to ascension, when I saw that lightning bolt shoot up in the sky, it reminded me of
Yep.
Grogu in Mandalorian
Sure.
when he's meditating on
like,
that
temple-
mountain. Yeah, yeah. So I thought
Okay.
that's what they were gonna do. This is an ancient temple they found.
And this is like a big beacon or something.
Yeah,
they
and then
unlock.
all of a sudden the robot. I'm like, what? I'm like, what happened? What's going on here? Who's this robot? And apparently, this is older and predates the Jedi Temple era.
Yes.
So now the question is like, okay, you have this giant robot. Shouldn't they kind of look into what this is and maybe look at I mean, this is a planet. They just visited a little tiny piece of it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they be interested in visiting the rest of the planet to see what happened?
You think? Well, they've touched on like the ancients in Rebels a bunch.
But that's a-
and
But that's
bit
the
in
problem
the
with
Clone
Star Wars
Wars.
is when they visit a planet, they don't really visit the planet.
no,
They just visit a
visit
small section
town.
of it, a
Yeah.
town, and then they call it a planet. Like they expect the
No,
entire town to be the encompass of a planet, right?
Yeah.
Now
Fuck,
people are gonna
you're a
go,
little-
and then even
you're
that is
needy.
was interested in this show go, cool, an old technology. Okay, can we expand on that now, or why would you even show this to us, and then leave it at that and kind of walk away?
I mean,
You know,
hopefully in future episodes, like I don't know, maybe we already,
The
But there's
excavation
nothing-
of this unknown planet.
but there's like, and the time frame that this is during after Order 66. Obviously, this is before A New Hope. And like, there's nothing that they're going to do with it. They're not going to be like, oh, we need to have this huge, large scale battle. Don't worry, we know where to get a Megazord. Well, fuck
That
off
would
to
be
this
awesome,
planet.
though. That would be
It
awesome.
would,
be
but they
cool.
can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's just like they just introduced this thing, and then it was just like, all right, see ya.
It would be cool if that thing transformed into a spaceship.
I thought at first it was going to be spaceship, and then
Yeah.
I was like, no. This is some crappy Godzilla stuff right here. But
Yeah.
I would have thought that this episode would have been way cooler if
Kaiju.
Yeah,
Star Wars
kaiju.
kaiju.
Yeah.
But if that crystal didn't melt, they just left it to keep the robot off. And if there were end credits, if we see the Empire, who had somehow found the beacon that indicated something was on the planet, they come down and they start like looking into this mega droid thing.
Kaiju.
This kaiju as a hint, like, oh, something, at least it will be useful down the road. The whole episode was kind of just setting up the fact that this one giant robot that seems to be incredibly powerful and is made of tech that we've never seen before will be important later in the season. It'll be important to the Empire. Maybe it's used to help build the Death Star. I don't know. But no, they just destroy it. Immediately the thing melts. They blow it up and they leave. I get filler episodes, but filler episodes at least should have some purpose, maybe some character development.
Well, you know,
I got nothing.
I hear you. I hear you 100%. Like, this is a filler episode, but they tease possibilities of exploration here or new information. Like, they just said older than Jedis. That perked me right away. I'm like, pardon me? Okay. So how do you know this? And what can you tell me more about this? She seems very knowledgeable, but although Hunter says she's full of bullshit as well. So she could have been bullshitting this whole thing about older than Jedi. She probably had no clue. Hello, Darth. What is going on, buddy?
So this just reminded me of that.
What is that?
That's one of the divine beasts from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
It's this
Okay.
big camel like robot thing that you get in and fight. But also,
Oh, Darth during the graveyard shift. All right, man. You have a good shift. We're gonna keep you entertained in the background.
think it
it
looks
also
like
just
Lugia?
reminded me yeah, the head of it.
Oh yeah, the head. Okay, I agree with that.
It
The
just
head
looks
is
like
similar.
a fucking Pokemon.
That was such a good. Have you guys remember watching that movie with Lugia? That Pokemon.
Oh,
no?
the one where Ash dies?
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry, I don't do
Pikachu
Pokemon.
no,
says Pikachu says its first words. Is that the movie we're talking about, or is that in the new TV
no,
show?
You
Ash
mean the
dies.
Ryan Reynolds one?
Ash dies
No.
with the one with Mewtwo, where he turns to like that metal or stone or whatever it was.
No, there's one that Ash dies. This is a newish one.
Oh.
Ash dies, and Pikachu says words for the first time.
Does he
because
still
he's
have
like-
the voice, or
Yeah. Because
he
Pikachu's
like talks? He's like, no. And
no,
all
it's
dark
like a
voice.
gut. It's like a gut wrenching thing because like Ash turns into like energy because he's dying, and then he's like, "Why don't you evolve?" And he's like, okay. It's essentially just like, "Because I just want to be with you," and it's like the biggest like friendship
Oh,
in it. But and then he dies, and then Pikachu like loses his fucking mind, goes Super Saiyan, and just electrocutes and murders everything around him, and like destroys an entire planet pretty much.
but they
It's
don't just kill
fucking-
Ash. Ash is he comes back, right?
No, he dies straight up.
They killed off Ash. What? I didn't hear about
Yeah.
this.
And then Pikachu goes Super Saiyan and then melts like 50 fucking Pokemon.
I thought we were
and,
doing the
like,
Bad Batch.
Murders
here, not-
everyone.
not
This is
fucking-
we already
way
talked
better than
about the Bad Batch.
Oh my
It's-
god!
This is the after hours hour.
Breaking news about the Bad Batch: Pikachu murders a planet.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's why this all
Well,
destroyed that
apparently-
planet. Huh?
Quite a bunch. I just Googled Ash dies and it was like, here's every time Ash Ketchum has died. But anyway, I remember that part because it was fucking hard
Wow.
as shit.
That is, oh god, that's really.
Brutal, brutal.
I'm in shock right now.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's-
god.
it's-
Oh, don't make me cry.
It was a gut wrenching moment. But yeah, here's this fucking thing. Shoots a laser.
Yeah.
And like if they were gonna do like a but like they showed this, it started shooting a laser, and then I immediately was just like, are they gonna be like, oh, this is where they got the idea for the Death Star? And I was gonna be like, that's gonna be dumb. They didn't, but like this was such an the last episode they did the pod racing. They were like, oh, okay, here's some pod racing thing, and here's some character development on tech. And you're like, okay, cool. And then he gets to do some stuff and they bond. This episode literally was just like, we go on a treasure hunting thing with Wanda Sykes. Then they find the treasure, and then they're like, oh, we gotta put it back. And then she's like, you owe me one. And then we unearthed a giant fuck off robot, and then we'll put it back. And then they're like, all right, let's go home. Did we do anything? No. Credits.
It's also like,
It's
why
like-
do you owe her one? Like, you just saved
Sh-
your her.
She wanted
everyone's
the blue
life.
shiny thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you actually went along with her on this journey. You spent your time and money because fuel costs money, right?
Yeah.
To go to this planet, and then you also put everybody's life at risk, right? And then the other thing is, why did they not take something from that robot? I'm sure this giant robot had some sort of engineering that they could have took from it. Anything. They took nothing back.
No. It was a complete non sequitur episode. Like nothing. This wasn't even a filler episode. Like filler episodes, you can be like, oh, they had a little story arc and it was kind of entertaining or whatever. But like this episode is just 100% a skip.
Do you
Yeah,
think?
like
Okay,
they're-
let me ask you guys a question here. Do you think that this episode, they would actually like there's 16 episodes for this season, correct? I believe there's 16. Do you think at any point they're gonna come back to this planet and say, we could use some of this tech, or there's something that we could salvage from, like, Tech can actually say to Hunter, let's go
Yes,
back to
it's
that planet and grab some of that stuff we need to use for whatever. Do you see that at all?
I mean,
I'm
I
grasping
hope
at straws here.
you are. I hope so, because if they don't, there is no point to this.
There's
episode.
no redeem, because even the last episode before this one, the filler one, at least we got some character development of
Yeah.
Tech. Like
A-
the
and
guy is
also
it
Sid.
showed the guy is a genius, right?
And Sid, they're
Yeah.
like caretaker.
Yeah.
Like we get to see a little bit of her background and
The
like
underbelly of her lifestyle, right?
totally, because we've not really seen anything of that. But like this was just like, oh, here's the person that you don't really know about, her friend.
And here's another thing. They know her for about a hot minute.
Yeah,
Why would they trust her?
they don't. She's just a
All of a
person
sudden-
who wants to
And
give them
who the
work.
hell's Amiga all of a sudden calling the shots these days? Is she
Also,
the adult in
did
the
you
room
guys
now?
did you guys get annoyed with Amiga how she'll just like repeat stuff? So someone will be like, "Oh,
There,
look,
yes,
it's a trap! Oh, it's a trap!" Yeah, they're like, "Yes,
There-
we know."
there were-
Yeah, someone else just
she-
said that.
she did regurgitate a couple lines, and I immediately was just like, ugh.
Yeah,
And
it's
she
like
like
we're not
just
dumb enough that you
verbatim
repeat that.
repeated.
She's quickly moving up the ranks of annoying characters in Star Wars.
No, but she was already the most annoying. And
No,
like-
Jar Jar Binks still holds the crown for me.
no, but Jar Jar Binks has a place. And
It could be a Sith
His-
Lord.
Yeah, on my
Could be
top
a Sith
list.
Lord. No, but like Jar Jar Binks he has a purpose, and his role
piss
is to
me
be
off.
the village idiot, and that's why he got kicked out of Naboo, or the not Naboo. What's the city that he's from?
The
What
city is
city
he from?
of the guns.
The Gungan city.
I can-
He got excommunicated,
exiled.
exiled from there because he crushed the boss's head liver, then banished.
But I found the name. It's called Gungan City or Gunga City, but the
Oh,
full like indigenous name is Ota Gunga Otu.
Otogunga.
Regardless,
Otogunga.
regardless, what I'm trying to say is she in my book, she's moving up the ranks of being an annoying character in Star Wars. Right? I did imagine that it was gonna happen because in season 1, she was a little bit annoying, but now she's grown up a little bit and she's getting a little bit too much authority and say in this group. Like Hunter needs to like control this kid and say, yo, chill out. You're not the one with combat skills. You're like a quarter of our age and you don't know anything right now. So let us be the adults
well,
and make the choices.
technically she's the same age, but she
You know what I
is-
mean.
I know,
Experience.
but
Let's say an experience.
yeah, she's
Right?
the only other clone other than Boba that did not have the rapid aging gene.
Yeah.
But in the first season, I was annoyed with her constantly.
But she was a
But
kid. So you kind of give
She
it
was
a
a kid,
pass,
so that
yeah.
was yeah. She was annoying, but that was like she was just like, oh, I'm just a kid, whatever.
Yeah.
They were always taking care of her.
Yeah.
And that's why in the first 2 episodes, I was like, oh, cool, she can hold her own. And they spent a bunch of time showing you scenarios where she was holding her own because in the first season, they constantly had to go rescue her, go help her, go take care of her, go get her out of this situation. And in the first 2 episodes, they're like, actually, she's fine. Like, we don't even need to help her up a ledge anymore. She can jump up. She can fucking murder things with her bow. She's really inept with that. Adept. She's really good with that. And they spent a lot of time showing that she has matured. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Omega's cool now. And then in the 4th episode, they're like, she's just going to agree to shit that she has no back story about and knows nothing about. And is just going to say, we can help you because of friendship. And then they somehow make it out of that one. And then in this episode, she's just like, I'm going to regurgitate lines that other people are saying because I have no cognitive thought of my own. And then they somehow fumble their way through it. and then now she's an annoying child again. So she Omega took a step back in the last 2 episodes, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. Her not only did she take a step back, but the entire team in general took a step back because they're allowing her to dictate and put
Mhm.
themselves in danger, especially this episode. Like there
Speaking of
was
the
no
team-
reason for them to go. There was no reason for them to go.
No,
Is
Other
it
than money.
just me? By the way, is it just me, or did their armor change?
It did. You
Yeah.
you could thank Disney trying to cash in on that figure money.
yeah, they're slowly trying to change it into a new figure set that they can sell. They had a bit of orange paint on it in the first couple episodes, and then this episode I
They're
also
trying to
noticed.
sell to suckers
Yes,
that I'm pointing at that will buy.
Are you
them
gonna
again.
buy this? This
I-
armor
I
set
just
right now
said
doesn't
they're
look
trying
very
to sell it
good.
to suckers that I'm pointing at.
I will say the animation and the art style. I noticed. I think a lot more in this episode, probably
More
because
clean?
there's nothing fucking else to pay attention to. But like artistically, it looked beautiful. And
Yeah.
their armor, there was a lot of scenes. There was a lot of really cool lighting things that I noticed. Again, because there's fucking nothing else to pay attention to. But there's a lot of cool shots where they would like do a slow close up on Hunter and just the light falling over his armor and the actual textures of the anime. Like, I love the fact that they've gone for like almost a brush stroke type of animation to it. And then this is completely different than, not completely different, but it's differentiating itself from the Clone Wars, which had that similar kind of I don't want to say it's not like a brushstroke thing, but it is kind of like the original Clone Wars TV show, the one like the CW one, the like
Yep,
animation one, not 3D
the
animation one.
2D one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a Samurai Jack. It was done by the same people, kind of like caricatures of the live action people like Mace Windu, Sam Jackson, and Ewan McGregor, and all that. So it was kind of a caricature of that. And then the Clone Wars, the 3D animated one, took a lot of those same caricature directions, but added a little more realism, so it's not as stylized. But it tried to go with a little more realism, and this season so far of the Bad Batch is kind of dipping more into the stylized artistic thing, because it, even though they kind of look like a texture and a like a physical thing that you could touch, like it almost kind of claymation, where it looks like they were hand built because the textures look physical, like they look real. And then a lot of the, especially when it's armor, so it's not a, skin or something like that, but the armor and stuff looks hand painted, and it looks like it's it like photorealistic hand painting on a lot of the textures, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to see them in new outfits because now I got to go buy them. I'm like,
Yeah.
you, Disney,
don't get
you
it.
Star Wars.
Don't get
He's
it. I
gonna.
don't like I don't like the new colors. Like, to me, the Bad Batch is supposed to look dangerous, and so having the darker, like the black
Hello.
kind of coloration, black gray, I thought
Black,
those
red,
colors
and-
look really good with them. Yeah, but when you've got brown and blue and yellow and all that, it's like
Not very
okay, you
stealthy,
look-
huh?
No,
yeah, you look more like you're from Tatooine, and you just put together some stuff that you bought from Jawas.
yeah,
And less like this is intentionally for stealth combat or covert ops missions,
yeah,
which is
covert
kind of what
ops,
they
that's-
were for.
Yeah,
You know what? They might even shed those armors and put a new one on by the end of the season and make you buy twice in 1 year.
I mean, and then it would look cool. Because
They have
so
to
far it's
improve
just
the
like-
armor.
They do, yeah. That's also too, they're not upgrading. Like Star Wars is always about
Yeah, Hunter. Like,
learning new skills and getting new abilities and new equipment. But they're not doing that. They're just like, today I put blue on my armor. So okay, cool.
like Hunter should have like a a belt, a bullet belt across his chest, like Rambo.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah, he already is just the
Sorry, got
He's
the
the
Van
future
Damme
Rambo.
version.
version
He's
of Rambo.
Star Wars
yeah.
Rambo. That's what I call him. And then Wrecker should just have like a turret attached to his shoulder, like War Machine.
As soon as
Just
the
go,
turret, like War Machine.
Just hold
yeah.
on to one hand
Yeah.
and shoot around people.
Yep.
Do you know one thing I
Or
didn't
at
get?
least
is
have
they're
what's
holding
that?
flashlights.
Is it Gatling gun? The one you can hold with two hands?
Yeah, the Gatling.
Yeah.
Just get one of those for Wrecker.
The flashlight thing pissed me off.
Yeah, because I was thinking, why don't they just have it on their helmet? Like I've
Yeah,
seen
every
clones
other
have lights
clone
on the helmet.
has that, but they're like, we'll hold this. And I was like, why do they do that? They're
Take a hand
an
off your
elite
gun.
force. They're an elite
Yeah.
clone force. Why don't they have fucking flashlights on their helmet? They had comm links attached in their helmet, and they're like, pashing, pashing, pashing. Why don't they have headlamps? That annoyed me.
They don't do enough missions in the dark, despite that covert ops feel.
That annoyed me.
Yeah. Maybe they sold it to pay for the gas to get down there. Who knows?
Yeah, but then they bought
Maybe
hand
maybe
ones.
the armor from season 1, they sold it off and they're wearing this junk armor from the junkyard, right?
Sure. Then do an
That would explain the
episode.
Pretty
shitty
close.
colors.
Then do an episode about that because that would have more to do with the story than this fucking episode did.
I'm gonna do a comparison of them, and I'm gonna destroy them if they look horrible compared to the season 1 ones. I can't wait
Yeah.
to do the comparison on that. I don't know, man. Like I was very excited for this new season, but it's fizzling pretty out, like really fast right now. And if we get another filler, I'm out, man. Like I don't know if I can continue with this nonsense. We better get some
16
substance
episodes.
next 16.
16 episodes.
Yeah, at least it's better
Is-
than the Kenobi show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better.
you're not wrong there.
I
Or
mean,
Willow.
Yeah.
What?
Did you see they came out with a Willow behind the
Never mind.
magic?
I should have said that.
Wait, did they?
Yeah, it's behind the scenes. Disney's doing that for
we-
everything these days.
We need to all watch that and
laugh?
report back next week.
Okay, after hours talk.
Oh,
By the way, what are you guys
no,
drinking?
I
I'm
don't want
drinking
more
my-
Willows.
I'm drinking Canada's
Neither do
favorite
I, but-
company, Tim Hortons, which is
But
bought by
but,
American
but,
now.
but the one thing that we had good to say about the Willow was how good it looked and how great all the sets
Fair
and
enough, yeah.
costumes and cinematography and fight scenes were all. And if
Yeah.
the behind the scenes is just talking about that,
Fight
it
scenes
will
weren't
be
that
better.
good. Let's
some of
Everything
the
else-
fight scenes.
everything else
There-
was great.
Sorry, 2 of the fight scenes.
Yes,
the
thank
one
you.
in the
The early
first couple
fight scenes.
episodes,
Yeah,
and then the one where they're training. The choreography for those were really good.
Yep.
Everything else is disappointing as fuck. But
extremely disappointing.
I actually am excited to watch the behind the scenes because the
For
behind the
comedy
scenes
relief.
No, because that was the only good thing about the fucking show.
Me and Nathan are gonna watch it for comic relief.
Oh, I'm gonna laugh the whole time when they're talking about. Oh,
we should watch
wanted
it
to talk
here.
about
We
this-
should come watch it together here and laugh.
There's gonna be a
Just
moment they're gonna be like,
record
"Oh,
ourselves Just record ourselves.
You know
laughing.
what? We're just gonna
You know-
stream it all because Disney doesn't even give a fuck about it. They won't content ID about this.
No.
All they're gonna be is like, oh, somebody's watching it. Thank Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna
They're
put
gonna
it
have a
on our
George
front
Lucas
channel.
You know, there's gonna be that one moment where they're gonna be like, "Oh, we got to put this in here. They're gonna love this." They're gonna
Yeah.
say that and record it and put it in.
They're
the
gonna
little
say like,
documentary.
oh, we were thinking of the fans, and we were like, which ones? Which one? Who?
Which ones? You can count with your hands.
Yeah. You can
They're
name
fans
them,
for this?
okay? Yeah. You can call them out by name.
By the way, Elvin, you said what are you drinking? I saw Timmy's, but
Yeah, I'm drinking Timmy's tea here. So, what are you guys drinking?
tea. Wait, what type?
Just their
Yes.
basic tea, steep
Okay.
tea. I'm a tea
I
guy.
am
I'm not a
drinking-
coffee guy.
Well, fair enough. I go. No, I like both tea and coffee. They're nice,
Mhm.
but I kind of do it depending on the day. Coffee
Yeah.
usually in the morning, tea throughout the rest of the day for me.
Cool.
But right now, I'm not having either of those. I'm having a Kilkenny.
I'm sorry, what now?
Kilkenny. So it's made by Guinness.
Oh, I thought I was going to
It's
say by
Nitro.
South Park.
No. It's really good. It's an Irish cream ale, and my friend who I mentioned to you earlier, who moved to China,
Yeah.
he left
May
me
he
with all
rest in
this
peace.
beer. Yeah. Don't say that.
I'm kidding. Dark humor.
But he gave me all this beer because it's going to expire by the time he gets back. So
Okay.
I've got a full mini fridge
Wow.
now.
Kilkenny's
So much
great.
stuff.
It also has
Kilkenny is good.
the plastic balls. So yeah.
Oh, so what does that do? Kind of make it not fizzy?
No, it makes it fizzy.
Oh, makes
it fizzy. But what it does is it agitates it so that everything gets mixed up because it's thick and you want a head on it.
Yeah, it like spins around as soon as you open it because like the pressure is released.
You always want to get ahead. Clip that.
Facts. I'm not going to. But.
Oh god, that reminds me of there's this saying.
That reminds you.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to say it out loud, but there's
Let's
a joke
not say it out
about
loud. It
a
is
Canadian-
after hours, but there are
I know.
only
I
limits
won't
to what we can
I won't
say.
say it,
After.
but I will say there's a joke about a Canadian beer called Moosehead. And I won't say it, but you can kind of guess along the lines of what it will be.
Interesting.
Are you familiar with that beer, Justin? Or are you
I'm
trying to
familiar
figure out
with
the
the
joke?
beer, yes.
Yes.
I am not.
Not familiar with the joke though, but
Oh God, do I have to say? Should I?
you should.
No,
You
I
should.
don't think
Okay,
we
I should.
You should.
Forgive me. Forgive me. I'm not a vulgar person, but I will say the joke.
Bullshit.
So the joke goes.
You're studying to dig up dead people.
Yeah,
For
I
a
know,
living.
right?
You are a vulgar person.
A lot of archaeologists are, but the joke is you'll forget your first blowjob, but you'll never forget your first moose head.
Oh man, that is a worthy A&R. Oh man, that made the show.
That's good.
All right. Unfortunately, we do need to score our episode before we go to after hours.
What
That
was
is the
last
quickest-
week's score? Do you remember?
Oh,
I
that's a
think
good
I gave
question.
it a 5.
Did I give it a 5.5?
No,
or
no, no.
6?
I said 5. Then you fucking called me out, and I
yeah.
said, "Okay, fine, 6.5."
Okay. Yeah, I think I said 6.5 as well. I think
So
you
I'm
said
gonna say
6.5.
5 for this. I'm gonna say 5 for this.
I think I said 7 last week.
Oh yeah, you went high on that one.
I
don't
went
know
yeah,
why.
higher.
You brought
I
out a
enjoyed
lot of
it
good
still.
points where you were talking about the droid, you were talking about the actual animation, the racing and stuff. Like you
Mhm.
brought out a lot of good points that I 100% agreed with. But
Is that Dio?
yeah, this is Dio just being like, "Daddy, I just want love."
Oh, you gotta ask the question. Yes, he is an archaeologist in. Well, you can tell, Nathan.
So I'm taking my last semester, and then I will have my degree in Amni archaeology. So that's basically ancient Greece, ancient Rome, Egypt, and Mesopotamia, those sorts of places. And I'm also certified for cultural resource management in British Columbia.
What does that
I haven't.
mean?
That means I can work. I can work in the cultural resource sector here. So it's basically if someone's gonna like build a highway through some forest, they send people with my certificate to
Investigate if
just
it said damage.
scout look through the area, see if there's any places that are historically or culturally significant. And usually the indicators are things that most people would miss, because you look at that and be like, oh, that's just a bit of bark missing from a tree, or that's a rock.
And you
But
go, actually, it's an old Mesopotamian burial ground, and
BC.
aliens will come and fuck you up if you put a road there. Speaking of which, this might be super off topic, but I would be down to do an offshoot podcast where we just talk about the pyramids for a few episodes because
We can do that in the new YouTube channel that we're looking at putting together. But
God,
speaking of Greece, I'm actually going there in end of August.
Ooh.
Are
going-
you
Well,
or is
I need to
WestJet
know where
gonna
you're
fuck
going.
up
I need
your-
to tell
your
you some
flights again?
places.
I'm going to Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini.
Beautiful place. Well, it's hard to go to a non-beautiful place in Greece.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
fucking Greece. Like everything's picturesque there.
So yeah, I'll be heading there. I'm confirming my tickets probably on Friday.
There's
So-
a actually on
Not with WestJet though.
No,
Yeah. You want to actually get to your destination.
Ooh.
I'm not
Hit
okay.
that- hit
I
that-
mean, like, no flights canceled. That sounded like sounded bad. No, they're
Darth
terribly
Gutierrez-
ashamed of me.
He says nice things. I like Darth. He's such a
he
nice.
does.
For a Darth, he's
He is
very nice.
He is nice.
Yeah, we had Nathan on when we were talking about what was the show with
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. We had
That
him
was a
on.
good show.
It was.
Except
We had
the-
him
except
on
the end.
when we were talking about Moon Knight because he was our resident Egyptologist.
Yes, he
And-
was able to decipher many things,
Funny
Yeah.
enough,
except
taking
for
a
the
course
episodes that
in-
we're playing.
I'm taking a course right now in Egyptian history, and it's really good. I'm learning about how a bunch of the gods kind of became important and all these special
Can you
things.
tell me how they got those marble slabs to the pyramids?
Limestones.
I can actually.
Is it
I can-
limestone
Really?
or is it
Yeah, I
lime or
can.
marble?
So the ones that used to be on the side, I'm pretty sure that they were.
Because the top was a gold. It was a gold at the very
Yes,
top. Right?
I'm
The-
pretty
yeah,
sure
the
sides
the
were.
pyramids as we see them now, they've been
Yeah.
completely torn apart.
stripped.
Like they were
Yeah.
fully
stripped,
smooth.
yeah.
And do you know, even in the times that we think are ancient, they were ripped off because people use them for construction. Throughout
Well, yeah, and
Egypt.
also the Sphinx was like remodeled too, and like we have aged the Sphinx as to what we think it is, but then that's been remodeled. So we like carbon dated the Sphinx, but then yes, Cowabunga, dude, that's
love it, love it, love it.
You are
Oh,
not
Bobby,
wrong.
What's up, buddy?
No, they weren't aliens. They weren't. We know, we have the receipts from like people being paid to build them. We know that they weren't aliens.
But no, I'm not saying
They
it's
used a
aliens, but
pulley and rolling system, right, to get it up.
There's a bunch of, so it's kind of weird. We still have theories because we're
Yes.
not sure
I
exactly
like how we went from
how.
Star Wars in the future to ancient.
yeah, this
pyramids.
episode sucks. We
Well-
talked about ancient Jedi, so now we're talking
Yes.
about ancient humans.
There we go. That's the connection.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job bringing that together. Full
Good
circle.
segue.
But sadly enough, the pyramids are more exciting than
This
this
episode of The Bad
ancient
Batch.
culture.
No, the
They
ancient
didn't tell
culture
us-
of they didn't say
no, I'm
fuck
talking
all.
about the ancient. Yeah,
They
we
they
got
were just
nothing
like,
from it.
"Oh,
That's what I'm
it's-
telling
it's
you guys. Like,
even before
when I
the
heard
Jedi.
that this is older than Jedi, I'm like, okay, tell me
Cool.
more.
And then
I
they're
want to
like,
know more.
Anyway, here's a
Forget
Megazord.
about that nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah, they teased us.
But like I said, she could have just been full of shit because Hunter's already calling her out as a bullshitter, right?
Yeah,
I
That's
think
true, but they didn't come up with. They could have been like, oh, later on, oh, she was wrong. Nope, they don't give any explanation. We don't know if she's right or if she's wrong, if she's lying. We have
Also, I don't
no
even
idea.
know why they went with her. They just met her like yesterday. they're like, oh, we met yesterday. Let's go on a journey together.
Also, weird thing. Speaking of your friend who moved to China, when I turned on my Disney Plus and started this episode, it was in Chinese.
So somebody has hacked your account and uses it.
Is Disney Plus banned in China, or is it allowed?
That's what I was
It's
thinking
probably-
too.
No, but
But
that's
it
just
was-
the
it's-
subtitle to do with being banned.
No. It was the voice. It wasn't the subtitles. It started in Cantonese, and I was like, and it took like I was watching it because I was watching it on a second monitor, and my slightly limited Cantonese. I was like watching it and like editing some other stuff, and then I was just like, okay, so they're going there. Wait a minute, this isn't in English. I,
So
like,
did it
switched
turn on
over.
by itself, or you had to do it?
No. I switched it over to English after.
Do you have a
But it-
VPN?
No.
Oh, that's strange then.
Yeah, it was weird.
Because I know sometimes if you have a VPN, then the area
It'll
that it's given you
region-
the IP, yeah.
Yeah, it'll region
So
you for
sometimes
it.
you should change your password and make it two.
I
steps
do,
up.
and I have I have the authenticating whatever.
Change it again.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's strange.
Because sometimes what in the dark market what they do is they will just watch it, but they won't change anything. They'll just keep watching under. There should be a shadow to what you do. That way, just get free content. It's
Whatever.
notoriously-
Some Chinese kid wants to watch Star Wars. Like, fuck it. I'll let him. I'll let him do it.
Yeah, they have to
You
use
could be
a VPN.
disappointed too.
Yeah,
have to use a
currently he's not
VPN in
missing
China.
much, so fuck it. He's not going to be here for long.
Cowabungadoo says Winnie the Pooh is banned in China.
No,
Yes.
Winnie the Pooh banned everything in China. Winnie the Pooh is a moniker
What?
for Xi Jinping. Winnie the Pooh is a moniker for Xi Jinping. And
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh is also banned in China because everyone who hates their leader just calls him Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
because he kind of looks like it.
Where's
And
Piglet then?
There's a video I saw. You know those videos where people take like a photo of someone's face and then they can make the lips move so it sounds like they're singing or something. They did
Mhm.
that with
I
Xi
love
Jinping.
those.
They're good. They did that with Xi
Yeah.
Jinping, but then they took the audio from Winnie the Pooh where he's like, "Oh, my tummy's rumbling," and stuff like that. It was
Oh,
pretty
my.
funny. That was pretty good,
Yeah.
Justin.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. What you gave it a 5.5? Nathan, what did you give it?
No, I gave it a 5. Straight
Oh, you
5.
gave it a 5. Sorry.
Do you know what? I think I'm gonna give it a. I think I'm gonna have to give it a 5 as well. 5. I'd give it higher if there was some indication that this was going to be used later on. The tech,
What an
ancient stuff,
adorable
double
dictator.
dictating.
Yeah, that was good. I like that one.
Yeah.
So you give it a 5. You give it a 5.
Yeah, I have to.
It's just a meh. Like
Man,
it's such an
I'll give it a
episode.
5.5.
Sure.
It's it got me
Do-
excited and then it just fell off the cliff right after.
Yeah, it wasn't not exciting. Like it was still like
Like who doesn't like a journey on a new planet, right?
Yeah,
That's what
totally.
it's all
Like,
about.
and it was like if you look at it through the lens of this is a kid show, which this is the first episode really that cemented that. It was like, you know what?
Yeah.
The story that the adventure that they went on, it was fine. They had some barriers, they went through them, they used some cool technology, and everyone had a good laugh. But like the episode was completely unconsequential. So much so that at the end of the episode, they were like, I guess we're 0 for 2 for adventuring. And it's like, so you just called yourself out for doing fuck all and wasting a half an hour of my time. And sure, Wanda Sykes talked a bunch. That's all that really happened. And I was expecting, like, at the end, them to be like, oh, here's some looming new enemy, and he sees them now because of this. But no, nothing happened. And I was like, so you didn't even set up anything for the next episode.
Nope.
There was nothing. They were just like, I guess we didn't do anything. And I was like, okay.
You know the point when they're in the robot's standing up in the sky, and that big creature opened up that gate?
Yeah.
Were you thinking the Jurassic theme song? Da-na-na-na. Is that what you're gonna say? No.
No, I thought like, oh my gosh, like this is a great story. That creature is like the race that built this whole stuff, but over time, after some massive catastrophe, it's like evolved into this more animalistic thing, and now it's trying to prevent them from, activating this giant
Yeah,
robot.
it's
No.
the Guardian.
They
I
could
thought
have
that's what
opened
it
up a
was.
whole new storyline if they kind of gave us a little bit more. They could have opened a whole new chapter. in the Star
Totally, but
Wars.
they were just like, here's a wampa, but it's in a desert kind of thing. Anyway, he's dead.
Where'd it come
or
from?
Left.
Don't care.
Well, they didn't even kill it, did they?
No, they
He just
they,
fucked
threw it
off.
out.
they stopped it.
Yeah.
No, but the thing that was like hunting them, they
Oh yeah, they threw it out the
or-
window. I'm assuming it died because it fell from pretty high height.
Sure. I honestly don't remember that.
I mean,
I watched
it had to be
it
at least 20 meters tall.
three.
that
I
robot.
watched
Yeah, but
this
it's
episode
Star
3
Wars.
hours ago.
People get cut in half and they survive. I don't
Gravity
know.
does not kill people in this fucking show. Mace Windu's coming back.
Yeah. Oh, you betcha.
I would be down for that. Actually, I don't know. I'd be conflicted. It depends on how Disney brings him back.
What do you mean?
Well, if they're gonna bring back Mace Windu, where has he been? He's not the sort of Jedi that I would think he would just give up
No.
as soon as he gets thrown out a window and loses a hand. Like, come on, Anakin lost a hand too. So did Luke. They didn't get. Luke
Everybody loses
fell
hands
from the
too, huh?
sky.
Everybody losing hands too. Damn.
That's
Yeah,
a
hands are just a dime a dozen.
Hands and falling in
Yeah.
a vacuum tunnels. It's no big deal in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
can
the
get through
thing
it.
is, with bringing Mace Windu back, which I pray they do, because like
see, like
he got done
animation or in
dirty.
live action.
live
he's old
action.
now. Live action,
No,
yeah, but
that's
look,
the
Yeah, but
thing.
Samuel
Jackson's
Samuel
pretty
can still
old.
give you a few episodes.
But that's the thing. Like they could do a post New Hope old
yeah,
Mace Windu.
Or
They could do-
or they can have
He's-
Charles Gambino come back as Mace Windu's son.
no, Mace Windu
Oh,
was
yeah.
he was so
Yeah.
strict with the Jedi code, he would not have a wife. That's one of the reasons
Yeah.
why oh God, he's one of those characters that you love and you hate because as like an actor and just how he acted as a Jedi, you're
Mhm.
like, this is great. I love it. He's got the purple lightsaber.
And
he's
he
kind of a
was like-
badass.
Well, and he was one of the only people who, like George Lucas, his vision. He was the end all. He was the Bible of that. It was.
Yep.
I know what's happening in this, and nobody tells me anything else. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously before Disney took over or whatever.
Yeah.
But Sam Jackson was the one person who was like, what color is my lightsaber? And he's like, well, good guys are blue or green and bad guys are red. That's how it is. And he was like, what about purple? And he was like, well, we'll think about it. And then he had a fucking purple lightsaber, and then the different colors of lightsaber. So it was because of Samuel L. Jackson that there are differentiations in colors other than blue and green, other than primary colors and lightsabers. And it was because of Samuel L. Jackson being like, hey, what about this? And George Lucas being like, Sam Jackson asking me if he can have purple. Okay, he can have a purple lightsaber. Okay. And like that sprung so much like extra lore because
Yeah.
that didn't exist.
And it helped
And-
prompt the creation of other saber colors too.
Yeah, like yellow and fucking
Purple lives matter, man. Purple lives matter.
purple. Exactly. And the
love-
fact that he has bad motherfucker
Yeah.
etched on
we should,
his
we should
lightsaber
coin a
hilt.
shirt that says "Purple lights matter."
You're gonna
Purple
get
lights matter.
Some people won't like that.
I gotta bring
Oh, the
out
candles?
this can.
Purple lights matter, baby.
A buddy of mine makes these. He's got Betty White. He's got, if you look him up, Zulu Panda on Instagram. He's
Not a sponsor, but I'm wondering why.
No, a good friend. He Zulu Panda is his musician name.
We do not get any money from that person at all.
He's given me money, but just for recording his music. If you like fucking blues rock,
Oh, I
or
do.
just yeah, he does some sick shit. I did a song with him about Donald Trump's Space Force.
Please
This
tell
is
me you have a YouTube
pre-pandemic.
channel for that.
Just wait, that's gonna turn into Starfleet one day.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I mean
200 years.
No, so he wrote a song called Space Force, and it's all about Trump building a space force to go to Mars. And we did a song together called Space Force. We were gonna shoot a music video for it, and I bought a bunch of like Nerf guns, and we had everything pre-production out. And then the pandemic happened,
Oh,
and then it didn't happen. But maybe we'll do it soon. So I don't know. Anyway,
And-
he makes candles, and they're fucking sick.
Nice.
So 5, 5, and 5.5. Is that the lowest we've scored so far this show?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not good.
And in fairness, like it's the second filler episode in a row after we just came off that high of
Again,
fantastic episode.
it's the episode 3 was such a beacon of hope because like the first season, again, it was like this is an offshoot of a kid show. The first season was introducing all the characters, so you need to have that like comedic, fun, low stakes, whatever. But season 2, it was like, all right, you're established. And we're also just getting off of the heels of Andor, which is like, here's the fucking real world heavy shit and serious Star Wars thing with no Jedi, no nothing. And now you've got a garrison, or not a garrison, but a squad of army soldiers from this disenfranchised group that is no longer needed by the galaxy. And then the first 2 episodes, you're like, all right, they have development, they've matured. And then the third episode, you're like, here's heavy shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is going to be great. And then the fourth episode was like, here's a filler. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're giving some more context for a guy you haven't really talked about. And then this episode was just like, nothing. You're like, fuck, okay.
Yeah, the next episode needs to build on a continuing story for the season.
Yeah.
If they do another filler episode, then my interest in it's kind of gone. Because one filler
Absolutely.
episode is completely fine having one.
Sure.
2 back to back.
I mean, in
It's pushing
16 episodes in a season
Yeah.
you're going to have fillers. That's fine.
Oh yeah, that I fully get that. I'm fine with that, and I enjoy fillers. The last
Yeah.
episode, even though it wasn't like technically a great episode, I still ranked it 7 out of 10. And for a filler, coming off the heels of such a great emotional, I say emotional wreck of an episode, but in a good way.
Yeah,
I
like
think
it made
7
you
out of 10 is
think.
pretty good.
It had some topics. It had a point, and it had
Yeah,
something it wanted to say. The last episode did not, but it still had purpose. It was, again, still showing development of tech, which we have not seen a lot of. This episode didn't focus really on anybody except Wanda Sykes, and it was like,
and yeah, there's no growth
but
or
you
anything
didn't
with
do
her.
anything. Yeah, she was just like, oh, I'm not a pirate, I'm a treasure hunter. And you're like, okay, whatever, what's the difference? So like,
I
they
learned
didn't
to-
improve or do anything about her character.
I learned to dislike her more in this episode because it's like, oh, she's not taking any responsibility. Anytime someone's like, oh, this is dangerous. Oh, relax, we got it. Then someone
This is
nearly
part
dies.
of the fun.
Yeah,
You're
it's like, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna take your youngest group member, Omega, and just like take her with me to the front in front of everyone.
I like how
She's like-
nobody pronounces her name not in an accent. It's Omega.
Omega?
Yeah.
How? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I
Omega.
guess it's just Omega.
Yeah, but everyone just goes, it's Omega.
Omega. It's because the accent, honestly, well, I get the accent because they're trying to replicate, the clones, and they actually have an
Yeah.
accent too. But
Well, they
in the
kind
back
of do,
of my
but
mind,
it's voiced by some white dude. So like not even a Kiwi accent or like
Yeah.
a Maori accent.
God, what's his name?
Tamia
There's-
Morrison.
What roles does he do again?
No, Tamia Morrison is fat.
Oh no, sorry. I'm thinking of someone in particular, but I don't want to say who it is. I want to look it up first.
Okay. Are you thinking of other New Zealand?
Yes, I am.
Is it one of the guys from Flight of the Conchords?
I don't think so.
Is it Brit?
Korg. It's Korg.
Oh, Korg.
Yeah, Korg from.
Wait, you mean Taika Waititi.
Yep, yeah. But I mean, like
Oh.
the specific voice he does for Korg and that mannerism,
He's not
mannerism
South
talking.
or he's not New Zealand.
Kiwi, isn't he?
He's South. Taika Waititi, isn't he South
No, he's
Africa?
Yeah, he's from New Zealand. Yep.
Yeah, he's from
Oh,
New
is he?
Zealand.
Yeah, Taika's
Yeah.
from New Zealand.
Look at him.
Oh,
He even
okay,
looks.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's 100% New Zealand.
Yeah. He's got the Kiwi accent. But when he plays Korg, he does it like in a particular way where it's like very
Oh,
kinda-
okay, yeah, no. I'm
I
seeing
can't
it
do it,
now.
but it's like, what's up, man? Nah, I
Yeah,
can't do
he's
it.
very chill, relaxed.
Yeah, and that's
Me and
Omega's
me and
kinda
Coach
like
playing
that.
some Fortnite.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's what I just kept
How did you
hearing.
guys
like,
get
that's
into
a female
Taika
Korg.
while I was gone?
Because we're
We
talking
were
about
the
Omega,
accents.
Omega,
Omega.
and I was
Omega.
saying that nobody pronounces it Omega. It's everyone
Yeah.
says, "Oh, it's Omega."
Except for me.
Everyone just adopts the New Zealand accent.
Omega.
Omega.
Oh man, I'm.
And then I was saying
concerned
people
about
on the
show.
internet or well, not people on the internet. Oh, whatever. There's the guy who's voiced all of the oh,
Guy, his
Elvin-
voice.
the guy who's voiced all of the clones.
Oh, what's his name? The guy that did the
He's
clone
he's,
voice.
got, he's
I know they're all the same.
he's done the voice for all the clones.
Isn't the guy who plays Boba Fett?
No,
No, it's not him.
D.
Okay.
D.
No,
Bradley
it's-
Baker.
T. Bradley Baker, just some
Yeah.
white dude.
Okay.
He's very good though. Like very
He
good. At his job.
is. He also he's a very prominent voice actor. Like he
Cool.
voices like fucking shit in SpongeBob, American Dad,
He was in the Ben 10
Mickey Mouse,
live
Ben
action
10.
movie.
He, if there is an animated thing, like he does like fucking Star Trek, Overwatch, Family Guy,
Yeah.
Lego movies,
Yep.
Diablo, like every video game, Lego Star Wars. Actually, no, he's the Clone Troopers in everything, period. If
Yeah.
it's not Tamia Morrison, it's D. Bradley Baker. Mickey Mouse, Cleopatra, Mickey Mouse, World of Warcraft, Boss
Everything.
Baby, Mandalorian. Oh, he was
He's
a
one of
voice in The
those-
Mandalorian.
He's one of those voice actors that is just they're
Chip and Dale,
very good at
DuckTales.
at what they do. They're managed. They can do many different voices without you actually recognizing that it's them. Yeah,
Sea of
it's
Thieves.
he's in Sea of Thieves. Have you guys
Yeah.
played that game before?
No, I have not.
Yes.
What do you think of it? Sorry, off
I
tangent.
I love that game. The girl that I was dating at the time, we both subscribed to the Xbox Game Pass just to play that game because it was like either we buy this game for $70 or we pay them $20 a month for probably the 3 months that we play this game, and maybe we'll play other games or whatever. And that game has so much potential, and I'm sad that it didn't get as many updates as it should have.
Yeah, it's been
'Cause it-
getting more now. Now they've got like every couple months they have a new season, new big updates,
Yeah.
and there's now progression in the form of getting your ship upgraded.
Yes, but there was very little in the first year of that game. There was
Wait, is it
very
in-game
little.
currency though?
Yes.
There is like a there's no pay to win part
No.
to the game because
It's
every
mostly
single thing you unlock
cosmetic.
is not just most, like everything is cosmetic.
Mhm.
The only thing that aren't cosmetic are the pets, and they're technically cosmetic too because they don't do
Yeah.
anything except look cool on your shoulder or running around.
Yeah.
So And the whole
But
game. That's
essentially
one
it's a-
complaint though.
Yeah, it's essentially it's a persistent world MMO sort of. You can play it single player. So there's essentially you're a pirate. There's 3 different sizes of ships. There's
Yep.
one that you can pilot by yourself, one you can pilot with 2 to 3 people, and a giant fuck off ship that you need like 5 or 6 people to float around in. And then you can go do quests and go raid dungeons and dig up treasure and shit like that. And then there's like krakens and like sea combat shit that you can do. And the mechanics and the physics and the graphics of the water is one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a video game. Like when you're on the ship just floating around and one of you pulls out a fucking accordion and one of you pulls out a hurdy-gurdy
Yeah.
and you all start playing like sea shanties, it's the
Yeah.
coolest fucking thing ever. And if you watch people like Shroud who just grief people, and there's a thing that you can do where you can there's a bunch of animations you're like, oh, lie down, take a nap or whatever, and what they'll do is they'll go into specific parts of your ship. So they'll sneak onto your ship and then play the lie down animation, but do it so that your character clips into a barrel so you can't see them. Then they'll wait till you get way out the fuck to sea, and then we'll just murder you. And there's also local voice chat, so, or proximity chat. So if you press a button and talk, everyone around you can hear you. And they'll just like stow themselves away on people's ships, fucking like, and then if they'll wait till they bring a bunch of like really valuable treasure on there. Then if the ship sinks, all the treasure will float up, and then everyone has to respawn at the main spawn point. So what people will do is follow and hide on people's ships, wait till they get a bunch of loot, and then and a lot of them will bring like explosive barrels and stuff to then bring onto other islands. So they'll bring a bunch of explosive barrels, and then the person will just like get up, murder 3 of them, light the thing on fire, murder the guy on the island. Their ship will explode. They'll all die and they'll all have to respawn. Then their friends will show up in their ship, steal all the loot, and fuck off.
This
So
is
you
pretty
can like
intricate.
you can like fully pirate stuff and just like
Yeah.
only be a pirate.
The game has got this thing where now this is what caused a lot of trouble with my friends when we played it, where you'd spend like 2 hours grinding, gathering loot, spending so much time doing stuff, doing like the really hard like quests to get lots of treasure. You're like, I've got at least 200,000, I'd say dollars, but
Rupees.
200,000 coins worth of
Yeah.
goods right here. And then all of a sudden in the distance, a massive galleon just shows up, or like not even the distance, like you just go around an island and all of a sudden heading straight for you, like 40 meters away, is a fully armed galleon. You're like, fuck, get out of here, get out of here. Like, we need to go now. And everyone's like screwing around down below deck, and immediately everyone rushes up. Cannons balls are flying everywhere, and you're freaking out. But the part that really got me and my friends was arguments happen, especially when your ship sinks and 2+ hours of your work is just gone. And so we had some trouble keeping it together after that happened, once or twice. Usually it would only take one time of us getting sunk after 2 hours of work before arguments break out. But it is a fun game. You just need to be aware that anything that you gain, you can lose, and that's fine.
It's a very risk reward. Yeah. But also too, it takes you time to sail back to the place that you can sell all the stuff. So when you're out way far already, and you're like, oh, we already got all this loot, and you're like, well, we could go back and sell it all, or I mean, this quest is only over there. Okay, well, let's go do one more. Let's only do one more, and then somebody just shows up and just fucking rocks your shit. So it's that risk reward thing that's really fun.
Yeah, it is. Elvin, you got to try it.
I definitely will once we finish watching this amazing show called The Bad Batch,
Yes.
which we have gone off on tangent so far, far away from this show.
Amazing show. We just gave it straight fives, 5.5.
Yeah.
Amazing show.
Yeah. Skip this episode, and it's a pretty okay show.
We still got a long ways to go though. 11.
We
more
do.
episodes,
That's
right?
what
So-
we were. I think you were away, but it's like 16 episodes is a lot, and having a filler here and there is fine and is normal, but having two back to back, especially after having one of the best episodes of the entire series, and then
Yep.
having a filler episode, that's fine. But then having a filler episode that follows that one being less consequential than the previous filler episode is like, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, kind of disappointed in that. Unless
Yeah.
unless they said, "Hey, listen, we need to have this many episodes." Or the writers are like, "Okay, we need to do a couple of fillers." Then they're like, "Sure, let's put them in the beginning of this, and then ride really high the latter part of
Sure.
it." I'm just trying to look
Hopefully.
at. I'm trying to be
No,
positive.
No, absolutely.
2023.
Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
try to be positive, right?
Yeah. And you start at such a high note on episode 3 that, again, if that is like a taster of what is to come, then this is going to be an amazing series. And like when I rewatch
But-
this, tell people to watch this, I'm going to say skip episode 5.
But if that doesn't happen, then we got.
Then it's going to be as good as the first season.
Then we're gonna question as the show doesn't need to go on anymore. Do people actually care about this show anymore? Right? I mean, the term "bad batch." They're supposed to be badasses, right?
Yeah.
Do some cool shit.
Yeah.
When is the last time we saw Hunter pull a knife and go after people?
I haven't seen him pull a knife.
I don't think
He did
Disney's
in the
gonna
f-
let us see him slit someone's throat. But that
Well,
would be
we've
No,
cool.
seen him
that's
cut
not
up.
someone's throat.
We've seen him stab a couple battle droids.
Yeah, you
that-
can
Okay,
destroy
but
some
what did you-
robots.
What is your opinion on the first season?
It started off good. It started like because when I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, this is a rogue elite squad here.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are gonna do some crazy stuff to piss off the Empire,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they went to rescue a girl, albeit an important character.
Mhm.
I kind of didn't think it was a good season. I thought it was okay. It was
Yeah.
all right. And so I thought, okay, this girl might have an importance to the next season, and maybe they're just testing the water. They don't want to give everything at you right away.
Mm-hmm.
So season 2 started off great. The chase scene in the beginning, Omega's all grown up. She can handle her own. Started off pretty good. And then we got this amazing episode, which I agree with you guys. Probably the best episode in not just Bad Batch, in a lot of other shows, animated shows.
Yeah, just
Star
animated.
Wars.
Period.
Like
Yeah.
this is probably one of the best episodes. It made you really think. It was a big boy, mature show.
I will
right?
say, apart from the final season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. But
Yeah.
then you just go off on a cliff right off the bat.
Yeah.
There's no like if the idea was to put these couple of fillers in there, why would you put it right after an amazing show and have it? It's a dramatic pitfall,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, I'm optimistic. Like I said, there's 11 more episodes to go. They could just give us 4 bangers at the end, and I'll be like, wow, right?
Mhm.
So I'm hoping. So, and I hope my theory of episode 5, that robot, they come back, get something from it, or go visit that planet again. Maybe that will salvage that episode. But if they don't, then that was a complete waste of time
Mhm.
and animated money. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We watched it, so not for Disney. I don't think it was a waste of money. we looked,
But I mean, just think about
yeah, no, I agree.
there could have been people that watched this and said, another filler, I'm out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? That's the risk you take if you could put a couple of duds in a row out.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
Their
that's why
casual fans will walk away.
I didn't watch the first season back to back. Like, I watched the first couple episodes and I
Took
was
a
like,
break,
oh,
right?
okay, this.
Yeah.
And then I waited till it was all out
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, okay,
Was
it's
binge
not
it?
that. Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that important.
Yeah.
And I only started like I only was reminded that I should watch it all. Because like I didn't watch what was the other show, the other animated show.
Rebels?
They had Rebels.
Tales
No,
of the
no,
Jedi.
no.
That's
they
more
had,
recent.
It was
Oh, Resistance.
Resistance. I did not watch Resistance.
Neither did I.
And
Never
Bad
going
Batch
to.
was a close second to that. Because like Star Wars Resistance, I saw a couple things on it, and I was like, okay, I don't need to watch this. And like, I'll wait till it's all out, and then if somebody that I respect goes, oh, this is an important episode, or this is why this show is important, then I'll go and binge it all. But like, I'm not gonna wait for this show because like, this show doesn't matter. It's not made for me, and I don't care about it, and that's fine. Bad Batch was very similar to that, where in the beginning I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and then I watched a few episodes and I was like, "Okay, I don't really care about this." There's a couple cool things in it, but like I'm not on the edge of my seat. And unlike Clone Wars, like that was like this is not made for me, but they are still respecting me,
Yep.
and there's still a lot of important things being told in this, and a lot of important things being portrayed in this for the canon and the story and whatnot. And later in the first season of Bad Batch, when they get like Cad Bane and what's her name, Ming Na Wa's character,
Fennec.
Fennec,
Shan.
when they get Fennec Shan in
Yeah.
there, and there was like a lot of important characters, interacting with them. But like the first few episodes, I was like, oh, okay, this is just like in cash. Not, I don't want to say cash grab, but kind of is, yeah. Which is like, here's another thing that we can tell a story about and make kids watch.
Well, that's
and
what they've
buy
been
shit.
doing all these years now, right?
Well,
They're
yeah,
just-
I
they're just
mean,
looking for ways to make the extra dollar.
yeah,
They're trying to squeeze every juice out of every part of Star Wars,
totally,
right? And that's fine. That's they bought the property. They paid a handsome amount of money
yeah,
to George
absolutely,
Lucas, so they have the right to recoup their money. But at the same time, if you're not making quality stuff, you're actually ruining that franchise, right?
yeah,
So there's a fine balance you got to have. Make money, but make sure the franchise is still important.
yeah.
And
Well, that's what Clone Wars did in spades, was respect the original IP and expand on it. And then also Rebels, like Rebels, the first couple episodes, for a few episodes, I was also in the same mindset of just like, okay, this isn't made for me. Yeah, this is whatever. Then that show fucking
it flipped the
went
switch.
up.
The same thing with
It
me.
went up hard.
Yeah.
It went from like, I would say the first 4 or 5 episodes I watched and was like, okay, yeah, I get what they're trying to do, but this isn't for me. And then like episode 6 or something like that, it was just like, oh, they're doing some
Yeah.
good shit here. Okay, I'm paying attention now. And the first entire season of Bad Batch, it was like, okay, fine. Oh, this guy's in here. Okay, sure. And then they're like, we're doing a second season, and I was like, okay,
I think the strength for this show is the characters in it. The Bad
Yeah.
Batch, their personalities.
Mhm.
From Echo, Tech, all of these guys, their personalities is what is keeping me, I think, to continue watching this show.
Mhm.
Like I love Wrecker, like his fun, jolly for personality, sort of like a Star Wars Santa to me, right? Yeah, and then I like Hunter. He's sort of like the father figure, which every Star Wars show has a father figure, right? It just
Mhm.
it goes without saying.
Echo, I think aesthetically is my favorite. Like Echo looks fucking sick.
Yeah,
Like his helmet is the coolest.
Siri also
Siri, I did not ask your opinion.
Siri agrees with you though.
I thought so.
That was really freaky and weird at the same time.
Have you guys seen that deleted scene from the Bad Batch where they're going
Siri's talking to them.
the one where Padme was, like in World War II, how soldiers would like paint pictures of ladies on ships and all that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they even do that in Star Wars, and how the members of the Bad Batch did that with Padme.
No.
Oh, so there's a deleted scene. I'll have to send that to you guys so you can watch it sometime.
Interesting.
It's like the really early animation, so everyone's like stagnant, not really moving.
Yeah, they're
but
all like
they're
T-pose.
yeah, but you still know who's who, and they're still moving around, although their legs aren't walking; they're just floating. And they're going up to their ship, and Anakin sees that there's a seductive image of Padme on the side. He's like, "What's that doing there?" And Wrecker's like, "Oh yeah, we watch her on the HoloNet sometimes." And then as soon as Wrecker walks away, Anakin turns to Rex. He's like, "That's being removed right now."
That's funny.
It was pretty good. I'll send that to you guys.
Well,
Yeah, all
it's
in
a
all,
deleted
I mean-
scene. It's not copyright. We could play it.
I was gonna ask you guys one question. It just came in my head. When I was watching today's episode, there in the beginning when the robot is about to turn on, all these lights started turning on the floor and everything. It reminded me of Rebels at the end where Ahsoka and Ezra are going through the dimensions, and all these lights are showing up on the floor. Did not strike you guys at all? Did you guys notice that part?
Again, what it reminded me of.
Like I was like, oh, maybe this is like some sort of
the
ancient
world
history.
between worlds or whatever. Or
It's just ancient. This might connect or explain that what Ezra and Ahsoka were getting themselves into. Maybe this is the race or the technology that started.
well, the
all that.
ancients. That's the
yeah. That's what I thought
Um,
this was doing, right? And then all of a sudden the robot was.
It kept almost like there were so many times where I was
There's a
like,
lot of tease to
are they
it.
gonna talk about this? And then they just didn't. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then they were like, oh, there's this, which kind of hints to this thing that's only been vaguely mentioned before. And I'm like, oh, okay, are they gonna talk about this? And then they just moved on to something else. And I was like, okay, I guess they're not gonna do it. But no, when I saw all of the things pop up, it again, no wait, whoops.
I think that's the only way to salvage this episode is if they come back to this planet or
It
Say
just reminded me of Breath of the Wild again.
uh,
Just like, oh, that's one of the temples in Breath of the Wild. Okay.
yeah, I just think that's the only way to salvage this episode is if they come back to it or mention something from that robot that's of importance.
Sure.
Otherwise, this is a complete waste. If you are watching the show from the beginning, definitely try to not watch this episode and kind of flow right by because you're not missing anything right now.
By the way, Justin, I've sent for you guys
The
to take
links.
a look at. Yeah, the link to the it's from it's from season 7, sorry, not the Bad Batch, but it's of the characters from the Bad Batch.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll turn it down a bit.
Hey, what's with the nose art? Ah, that's our girl, Naboo
That's
said.
a girl.
We check her out on the holoscans.
Yeah, she can negotiate with me anytime.
Let's go.
And then is that Commander Cody
Stay there.
Rex, Captain Rex.
or Rex? Yeah. No. She can negotiate with me anytime.
On Disney, why do you get rid of that?
Yeah, that's good.
I think maybe something made that. I don't think that's actually Disney.
No,
the voice
that's their prelim animation stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's their
Yeah,
voices
they all
too.
look like that. Well, the deleted scene with Boba Fett and Cad Bane looks like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
yeah,
he
yeah.
got,
Okay,
got
yeah.
the dent in
Yeah,
his
yeah.
helmet. That it looks like that too.
Cool. Was there anything else before we kind of wrap it up here?
That's just something come up with a better episode next week.
Oh, as
Yeah,
I mentioned,
hopefully.
Nathan, you're going to be available for this Sunday because you missed
I
last.
find out on Thursday if I'm
Okay.
working or not.
All right, so that's okay. Because
When have you been watching it?
did you watch episode
No.
2?
No. So I'm going to catch up first. I'm going to try and
Oh,
binge them.
Okay.
Do you want us to
I haven't-
ruin it? Do you want us to ruin it for you?
No spoilers. I haven't watched your review
I don't
yet.
know.
I can't learn anything about the episode yet. Because so far it's been really good.
And
so
it keeps
good.
getting pretty good.
Pretty good. Now I'm worried. Don't say anything.
I didn't say
Justin,
anything. I didn't say
I'm in
anything.
my head now.
He's not.
I didn't say
Alvin's
anything.
just teasing me. Alvin's
I-
teasing me. Justin's making me worry.
We won't even tell you our scores, but after you watch it, maybe go check out our episode and see our scores.
No,
yeah.
don't.
No,
Just-
I'll write down. No. I'll watch the episode. I'll write
Okay.
down my own score, and then I'll watch what you guys said.
or you
or-
can wait till the next time you come on the show.
And then we'll tell
Yeah.
you all about it because
Okay.
you probably just won't have enough time to watch the. We talked a while about it.
If anybody's wondering what the hell we're talking about The Last of Us, the HBO smash hit.
The
If you're not watching
HBO.
that show, I don't know why. I mean, I don't.
I mean, I do because the last episode was pretty okay. It was not that
Do
great.
not
but
say
it
anything.
was
Nathan is
fine.
gonna get really upset.
It was fine. It exists. and I'm
Nathan,
not
don't listen to
upset
this
about
man.
it.
Don't listen to this man.
I'm enjoying this.
It was fine.
The episode so far. The first one was great.
First one was
I-
great. I will give you that.
Don't forget,
think-
everybody, A&R Weekly, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time every Monday. This Monday, we have our friend Brad, I believe, coming on with us. And we got some juicy topics to talk about, some stuff that I've been holding off on, and I need to unleash because there was some media backlash about adults collecting toys. We are now named Cadults.
What?
That's cute.
Adults, and they think that it's not normal for adults to have action figures.
Not normal. Hasn't it been going on for like 100+ years?
They
People
think there's
collecting-
something actually fundamentally wrong with adults collecting.
Really?
It's been in the news. It was in the news a month ago,
Well,
and
what
I
news? What
wanted to
news? What
fire
news?
back
What
on
news
our
outlet?
tiny little podcast, but I
What
wanted to wait
news
for
outlet?
Good Morning America, I believe, and I'll find the
That's-
other clip from that.
That's Fox, isn't it?
What's that gentleman? He's on Vox all the time. He actually he's really
Dave
like
Portnoy? No.
No. It's another one of the guys. He was actually did a documentary on transgender and all that stuff, and is very,
Yeah, that
very,
narrows it down.
very.
Are you talking
decisive.
about the Daily Wire?
No, not the Daily. I
No.
can't remember. But that gentleman also is he has a YouTube channel, and he talked about he coined it Cadults or something like that, and he said that there are some psychological issues with people who do this, who collect action figures and stuff like that. And I'm just like, really, bro? Like, are you stupid or what?
Adults is already a thing called creative adults.
I don't know what he said something. He made it up.
No, I'm just discrediting
Okay.
his stupid remark.
And then mainstream media also ran with it and said, "Oh, people who did this, they might have some issues."
I wonder what he says about the people that like taxidermy everything. Like everything that dies that they can get, they just taxidermy it. I wonder what he's like. They love dead people.
Oh man,
those are called serial killers.
Yeah.
Dexter.
Speaking of which, did either of you watch the new season of Dexter?
No, I don't do that. I don't watch it at all.
I keep meaning to watch the new season.
My
because
sister's a big
I-
fan. She's an OG fan of Dexter.
I loved the first
The
bit,
first
like,
run, right?
the first run of Dexter until the last season, because
Yeah.
the last season was clearly like when they got their budget taken away, because like it was great. The show was amazing. I loved the show. And then the last season, it was like, oh, the like quintessential scene of him going out on his boat
don't ruin
and
it for anybody.
dumping. Huh? No, the show's has been done for like a fucking decade. The quintessential scene of him going out in his boat and dumping body parts, which happened in every episode since the beginning of time, was clearly green screened. And it was just like, you can't even afford to like get him out on his boat that he does almost every
Yeah, you
episode.
can do it for free at White Rock.
No, exactly. But like they just did it green screen and poorly green screened. And then the end of the episode, which was like the end of the series, was just like, oh, yeah, he fucks off to Canada. And then there was like credits. And I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
And then the new season, it was like, okay, sorry. We got money again. Let's tell the actual story that we wanted to. But it was like they clearly got canceled or like got shut off because
Are they
yeah.
in Netflix now or something?
I
I
don't
think they
know,
bought up by
actually.
Netflix, right? Or one of the streaming platforms. Matt Walsh. That's the guy, Matt Walsh. There you go.
Paramount
Thanks, Garth.
Plus for Dexter's Paramount.
Yeah,
Plus.
Amazon. Oh, Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
So
you
yeah,
might be able
Darth,
to get it Amazon too. But
so Darth was able to find the gentleman's name, Matt Walsh. That's the guy who talks about kidults.
yeah, he is the Daily Wire, isn't he?
I have no idea. I could care less. He is now.
Oh, that fucking piece of shit.
Now he's my enemy.
Daily. Wait, what's his name? Matt Walsh again? Matt Walsh.
Yeah, ultra right wing. Yeah, that guy's a fucking cunt.
I think a lot of people just think, oh, I'm gonna put something up that's controversial on YouTube.
Even
for
other
views.
conservatives think
Yeah,
Matt
he
Walsh
is.
is too extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that just likes to put shit up online.
Well, he has
that's
to make
a little
money,
out
so
there.
he wants to do all these controversial topics.
he does.
Right?
He
This happens on YouTube everywhere, right?
But
yeah, but
there's-
it's
there's a
not
difference.
good.
yeah,
no,
there's a
I'm not.
difference.
I'm not saying it's good. What I'm saying is this guy's playing the game. He knows how to play the game.
No, I don't even give him that much credit because like there's a lot of like
Well, I'm
quote,
talking
unquote,
about him right now.
yeah,
right?
but there's a lot of because he is he's like narrowed down on your neck of the internet.
But that's what he does with a lot of topics. He narrows down all these small groups.
No,
Right.
he's just a shit disturber. And like
Yeah, I know he is.
there are conservative or right wing
There's
content
Matt Walsh
creators.
Right there. Podcast.
there are
now.
there are right wing or conservative content
Just
creators
joking.
that I still like. I respect their views, whether it's Omega pretty.
Oh,
old is she?
man. Hey, you do you. That's all I gotta say.
She's 35 or whatever. 40.
Yeah,
13.
We're
Omega.
getting
13.
we're getting into anime territory of just
Yeah.
like she's actually 48. She's just in the body of a 9-year-old, so it's okay.
Does that make it any better?
No, it doesn't.
On that
But Matt-
note,
Matt Walsh is a fucking piece of shit and a terrible argumentativist.
yeah, well, we're gonna discuss about his controversial jab at collectors on Monday night. It's gonna be very interesting because Brad, he always brings it. He's very informative and educated person. So I'm looking forward to having a conversation about it. And then we have some other things that we're going to talk about. Some big cancellations in the DC TV world.
Ooh.
So yes, join us on Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Join us every Wednesday at 9:45 p.m. Pacific for breakdown of the Bad Batch. Which
And in 1 month, we're going to be talking about the Mandalorian.
it's going to cross over. They're going to spill over.
It is.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And then every Sunday we talk about The Last of Us, a trailer breakdown, which is also going to be not trailer breakdown, episode breakdown. It's going to cross over to Mandalorian as well too. That's going to be very interesting.
A lot of Daddy Pascal.
Daddy Pascal, yes. Sure, man. Hey, whatever floats your boat.
I want to see
Um,
Wrecker in a bikini. No, no, we need Forrest Whitaker in a bikini in a Speedo.
And to Jemima.
We need Forrest Whitaker.
And to Jemima.
And on that note,
On that bombshell.
Wait, did you just quote?
Yes.
Top Gear?
Top-
Yeah.
Top
I
Yes.
felt that coming. I felt
Thank
that
And
coming.
on that note, and on that bombshell,
Good night.
good
bid
night.
you adieu.
Amen.
I love those guys.
Next
Oh, they're
week
great.
on the Bad Batch,
They're on the.
will they
they're on
will they
Amazon
actually tell a story?
Have you guys seen their Amazon episodes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watch them.
they were
off though.
they were fine.
Those old.
It's
geezers
still
have
not
been
as-
stacking off.
Not as good as the original one.
Yeah.
Where
It's
they're
not-
just wasting the BBC's money Just be like,
Yeah.
today we bought an old German tank and figured out which sort of Fiat would survive
Oh,
an
man.
entire barrage of artillery.
Oh man,
And we get Tom Cruise to drive our tiny car. And Richard Hammond says something douchey.
I was thinking of
This week on Top Gear.
I was thinking of opening up another channel where we could talk about everything that's not related to pop culture, and just like nonsensical shows and movies and even music, just like even music videos, just making fun of them. Just how stupid some of these videos are.
I'm never talking about music on the internet.
Why?
Because it's I don't
Are you all right, Nathan?
Oh
Hey,
gosh.
he's just sneezing.
I can feel the devil coming out of my nose.
I can see the dust particles. You got
Yeah.
fucking ghost orbs.
That's not the devil, but it's close.
Motherfucker, you need a Swiffer, dog.
To it. Yeah, I know, right?
I just
noticed
cleaned
his
this
poster
desk.
on top of his headboard there.
Oh,
Jesus.
that's
God.
do you know who that's from?
Leonardo.
No.
No.
Vincent Mango.
Oh, okay.
The title is Skeleton Smoking Cigarette or something like that.
I thought you were gonna say,
Sick.
I thought you say Skeletor.
That
Oh.
name alone, I would have to buy it.
I got it. I think
Yes,
for
you do.
next week a bunch of Skeletor stuff. Oh, the short that I put out today.
What did you
The
I'm afraid to even ask. What did you put?
I put the Katzenbogen thing.
Oh, okay. That's a token.
It was
Real
G.I.
G.I. Joe Hallmark
it's
name.
all American. That clip it did pretty good. We had a bunch of people sharing it on our Instagram.
Cool.
It did pretty good. I was kind of annoyed because the people who shared it cuts it off right before the punchline.
Oh,
So they clearly watched it and then were like, "Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna put it on the internet." And they shared the post that we put up, but it cuts it right like you're just like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is cool. This is his name. This is great. Katzenbogen, all American." And then it cuts it right before I interject, and I'm like, "Katzenbogen? That's the least American fucking name I've ever heard." But
Ah,
yeah, people liked it. It was funny. So go to
Nice.
our Instagram and our YouTube and our TikTok.
Yeah,
and you'll
it's right on
see
the bottom
funny
there.
jokes that I put on the internet.
go spread the word to everybody out there. We're giving away cool prizes all the time. In fact, see those boxes right there on the table? I'm actually sending those prizes from our 100th episode to all these people. We're throwing in some
Ooh.
stickers, throwing some
Coasters.
toast, yeah, right there. And then we also have from the Saturday morning Mighty Beaver stickers here.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, that's a bi-weekly show, 8:30 a.m. We just did it last week, so in 2 weeks we'll do the next episode where we talk about 80s, 90s, and early 2000 animation and things like that. A lot of things going on, man. A lot of things going on in our channel here.
Mhm.
We're just
Beaver
bringing
versus
awesome
the chicken.
content.
Gotta
Yes.
have them fight it out. We need an animation of that.
will
We
make
should
it
write that
happen.
down, Justin.
I already have.
All right, okay. We're gonna probably end it off here. Thanks to everybody for coming out, saying hi to us. Appreciate it. And everybody's watching the replay. Come join us next time on the live because we love to answer some questions and have some fun because it was good. We had a good time today. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, internet.
Bye, Omega.